gosh, I have not been on YouTube in so long. It's so weird. It's cool, but it's so strange. You know, because I've been so, absent for so long, and I apologize for that, but there's a lot of reasons for that, you know. I'm glad you guys are back here to see me. I'm gonna create this look that you see right here. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's get started. It's like the weirdest thing to be recording now because I haven't done it in so long that I don't even know like exactly where to start. And so let's just start with the basics, which is your skin. You always need to prep your skin properly. So I'll show you some of the products that I use to prep my skin today. I have been suffering with a little bit of breakouts. We just got back from California, so I'm going from California climate weather to Nebraska cold 45-degree dry weather right at this time. So one of my favorite toners that I really love using is this toner by IT Cosmetics. It's the Miracle Water toner. I really love this one because it just seems to give me just enough conditioning as well as clarifying if necessary, which I feel after a makeup application and then washing your face, I feel like you do need to go in with a toner to just kind of take the residual, perhaps leftover cleanser or makeup that may have, traces of that may have been left behind. So I always recommend a toner. This is the one that I'm currently using right now, and I really love that. You guys know that I am a huge Paula's Choice fan. I have been a brand user for many years. I mean, probably even before 2008, 2007, maybe even 2006. I don't know. We'd have to pull up the records to really verify that, but very long time. Anyhow, this is the product holy grail of mine that I absolutely love. This is the Paula's Choice, sorry if this is not focused, BHA liquid. I like the liquid versus the gel and the lotion because I feel like the liquid is a little bit more concentrated and can really directly attack the inflammation that I have in my skin, as well as any blemishes that may be present, and also attacking or dissolving the blackheads that are apparent in my skin. Now they do have a BHA 9, that's more of a concentrated solution of salicylic acid or BHA. And I love that. I use that really more for spots, but this is the one that I use most frequently. Now this particular product was a splurge. This is, I think it's pronounced Laneige, Laneige, I don't know. It's their lip sleeping mask, but I use it both morning and night because I am a chapped lip sufferer. And with the climate the way that it is, we're in October, it's drier, it's colder. You're gonna probably experience perhaps some chapped lips. So I feel like this one really is very conditioning to my lips. I feel like when I wake up in the morning, they don't feel crusty, they don't feel taut, they feel very conditioned, emollient, and ready for lip application if I so choose to do that. I usually, because of what's been happening in the world with the pandemic and wearing masks, I haven't been using makeup very much. So when I do wear makeup, it's a special occasion, or it's just a feeling of, I really want to get ready today. So, but when I'm not using any makeup, I am basically conditioning my skin and treating my skin with all the proper products, as well as my lips, because I am not a good lip person when it comes to taking care of them. I really should be, but I'm just not. Now I've talked about this product in my other videos from, I don't know when the last time I have even recorded. I apologize for being so behind on this, but it is the Paula's Choice Pore Purifier. I absolutely love this product. The reason for that is because I feel like it brightens up my complexion. I also feel like it makes my skin look more even toned, and I like that it's really lightweight and gel-like in consistency, so it really does, because it's got a nice smooth consistency, it just absorbs into the skin very quickly. I'm gonna have a little bit of coffee before we get started because I haven't really had a chance to sit down and enjoy this wonderful coffee that my husband made. Okay, maybe at some point I will get to recording. Look at this. Oh, it's so annoying because I have this little crack in the blinds that is shining the light, but this is the best I can do for you guys. I recently purchased the Makeup by Mario Master Metallics eyeshadow palette. So this is what she looks like. Sorry, I'm trying not to show you that mirror so it's not blaring all in your face. But I really wasn't too familiar about like his new product launch, and so I really bought it on impulse. I just thought, wow, these are really pretty. There's no mattes in there. Well, he created a similar palette, same size, with all matte shades. I kind of like that idea, but because the colors were so much similar to what I already have, I decided to skip on the mattes and really just focus on the metallics. So that's the look that I want to create today using this particular palette. So let's get started. So I'm just going to kind of give you a little bit of background about Mario. So Mario is Kim Kardashian's makeup artist. That's what he's really well known for. And so he created this product line, which is very exciting. I think he started his product line back in 2017 or 18, I want to say. And so he had this beautiful palette where it had this one iconic blue, and everybody raved about it. It was like, that's the palette I'm gonna get because of that blue. And anyhow, that's kind of where I started to become very interested in this, because I recalled seeing that palette and not getting it, because I figured, oh well, I've got plenty of products that can create that type of vibrant blue, which you can. And so, you know, I just was like, well, I really need to add something different to my inventory, and this was very inspiring to me when I saw it. So here she is. This retails for $48, and you know, I won't know if it's worth it until we start kind of diving into this. This is really a first impressions for me, and so I thought, well, why not do a video, you know, doing a first impressions? And I haven't done anything really like that before. So as far as the mattes go, when I looked at the palette, it just reminded me of like something like this, with a lot of, if I were to remove all the shimmer shades out of this palette, there were a lot of similar redundant shades in that particular guy that I just felt like, well, yeah, I would love to have the palette because then it kind of goes with that. But then I just thought, well, I'm familiar with this formula and I'm not familiar with his, so I'd rather just stick to getting this and using the mattes that I have. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, I've already done my brows, I'm gonna go ahead and do the mattes real quick just to kind of define and contour my eyes, and then we'll get started on using his product. Okay, just for the record, I went in with this palette here. The shades that I used to just kind of create this halo eye look is this shade right here, which is more of, as you could tell, it's a shade I always use, Silk Cream. And I went in with this one, which is called Pukey. And then I went in with this shade right here, which is called Mocha. And then I went in with this one right here, which is called Soda Pop, or I'm sorry, Central Park, and then Soda Pop. Those two right here, just to kind of really deepen out and smoke out the eye, because I really want a dramatic eye look for this particular guy. I'm hoping that it will be okay to wear. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of just go in a little bit. By the way, I did purchase his brush. It's a double-ended brush. This is the EF1. And so I used this particular tip, and I just kind of went in to help blend out any harsh edges. And I really love this brush. I love the contour of it and how well it fits in that crevice there. And then I didn't get a chance to use this guy, so maybe we will try to use it with this palette right now. Now I want to go in with this particular guy dry. So just a couple of facts about it. It is a cream to powder kind of eyeshadow. He says in the overview on his website that the Master Metallics palette is inspired by colors found within our bodies and represents my love of human nature. These creamy shadows deliver a range of chromatic effects from natural to intense with high impact shine. The Luxe formula can be used dry or wet to achieve a light wash of color or full coverage shine. I love applying this shadow with my fingers to achieve a beautiful intensity. I don't know exactly what color I want to use first. You know what we're gonna do? We'll do like a spotlight. So let's use this one right here. So that is, see, it's hard because he doesn't have names on the back of these. They're called metallics 1, 2, 3, etc. So this is metallics 3. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'll just use his mirror because I really love that. We're gonna go in with this brush, dry. And I want to just see how it performs dry. So yeah, you do get some pigment, which is pretty good. And I'm just gonna go ahead and add this to the center of my eyelid. Kind of going in on these areas that are also a little bit towards the end there, so that everything looks blended. I'll probably go back into my mattes and just kind of add and reapply. So that looks pretty good considering that is a dry consistency, or I'm using it dry as opposed to wet. So let's wet it and see what happens. I'm curious to find out. Okay, go on the other side wet. Ooh. Now when I use these kinds of shadows wet, what I really like to do is then go in with my finger, nothing on it, and just go over what I just did. So then you could tell this one has a lot more intensity than this one. Both very beautiful and wearable. I just think I prefer this over this one just because that's just the kind of vibe I feel right now. My other battery just died. So thank God my husband bought me 2 batteries. I have the other one now charging and we're in full battery so we can keep going. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and also wet the brush again and fix the other side. I mean, it's not really fixing, it's really just intensifying it, just like I did on my left eye. So I'm just kind of patting that down, and then I'm gonna go in with my finger and really just finish this guy off. I'm just gonna go ahead and let's add another shade to the center focal point. There are a couple of shades that I really love. So there's these guys right here. They don't have like any names, but it's this gold orangey kind of shade. And then this one right here, which has a little bit of like, I don't know, champagne reflect. Oh, I really love that. And then here's that orange shade. See, they're pretty similar. So, I mean, I feel like, here, let's just add that there to the center. And then let's add this one to this guy. Okay. I almost like the orange one a little bit better. So let's go ahead and we'll just add, we'll add that to the center focal point. Oh, I like that. And then I think what I'm gonna do as well is this really beautiful gold shade right here. I'm gonna go ahead and add even more spotlight. Ooh, I like it. And now just going back into my Morphe palette, I'm just gonna go ahead and add the shade Mocha. I'm gonna basically retrace my steps because everybody needs to look married together. And then I'm gonna go in, do the same thing on the other side. That double head here, I'm gonna use this side right here, and I'm just gonna kind of blend everybody together. And I think because this is such a dramatic look, we're gonna go ahead and use falsies, but I'm gonna use individuals, and I wanna show you guys the technique that I have been really loving, that I have been doing lately. So, you know, I love this palette so far. This is actually a lot of fun using. So I'm gonna take this little tiny brush right here. I did dampen it with a little bit of Fix Plus, and I wanna kind of intensify that gold shade right in the middle here. Okay, so now I've got my foundation, my base on. Let's go ahead and finish up the eyes. I will leave the details on which foundation I use, as well as my contour and my bronzer. Okay, so moving on, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up my Morphe palette, And I'm gonna go in with the shade Mocha, which is more of that, not as intense brown. And I'm gonna use that to kind of smoke out the lower lash line. I am gonna blend this, so it looks pretty harsh right now, but I am going to go in with a blending brush to really blend this out. I just feel like it's just gonna give it that punch, you know, since I'm making a very dramatic look. Okay, so then I'm gonna go in with the shade to kind of, sorry, I've got a ton of brushes here. I think I'm gonna go in and lighten this up a little bit by adding the first shade that I added, Silk Cream, and what this will do is this will soften the eye look a little bit. Now I'm just going to go in with this Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in the shade Double Life. This is a more metallic-y kind of liner, but I really like that. I don't want to be too deep in my waterline. I just kind of want to add a little something. It's more of a bronzy reddish kind of metallic shade, so I felt like that was going to be a little bit more, I don't know, just different, you know, than putting black on all. Okay, I'm going to go in with a couple of pencil brushes here. I'm going to first take one of them and wet it with Fix Plus. And I'm going to go back in with the palette, and I think I'm going to go in with this gold shade right here, which is already something I used. And I'm going to add it to this, oh my gosh, I just made a little chunk right there. I'll show you how I fix that. Oh, crap. But I want to add it just to kind of give it that gradient effect. Crap. Gotta find a brush that does not have any product. There we go. There we go. Taking his brush, just kind of blending it through into the matte shade. So that's just gonna kind of give my area right here a little bit of a gold hue, and I like that, so I want to do the same on the other side. So far so good. I really like the fact that this is more of a buildable kind of metallic and not just so strikingly shocking. I like that a formula is more of a buildable formula versus a very pigmented formula. I mean, I do love pigment, don't get me wrong, but if I'm working on a client, I like to build that. Now taking this shade, which is more of a pearl-like shade, I want to use that as my inner corner highlight. So now you really have a gradient effect. And I think I'm gonna just kind of work this a little bit. What I'm gonna do is show you guys what I have been doing with my individual lashes. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this, sorry, this tube is like almost out, this Duo Strip Lash adhesive, and it's in the clear one. Usually you want to use black, but I don't have that right now, so we're gonna use this. And just take a little bit of the glue, individual lash, and just add it. And I like to start from the outside and move inward. And these are by Kiss products. I don't know the exact name, but I will link it down below so you guys can see what they are. I like these because they come in short and medium, so it's not super long. So, okay, so now that I've got all the individual lashes on and they've been sitting now for like, I don't know, like a minute or two, it should be pretty dry. So this is where now I go in with my mascara after I've applied the individual lashes. I will not do this usually with a strip lash. What I would do with a strip lash is I would put the mascara on, then put the strip lash on, and then maybe coat it a couple times, and that's it. I'm gonna go in with the Maybelline mascara. This is the Volume Express, the Falsies, but this is in the, I think this is the waterproof. Yes, it is. And I really love this brush. I mean, I just love it. And a lot of times when I put on this mascara, people have asked me if I'm wearing falsies because of how volumized and lifted this particular guy does to my lash. I have such straight lashes and they kind of tilt downward even though they're long. They just don't hold the lift, and I need a mascara that's a little bit more on the drier formula side because of that reason. Because if I use a wet mascara, what would happen is it would drag down. That curl that I would have added to my lashes would have already gone. So it's just like my hair. My hair is pretty straight, as you guys can tell. And I just can't use heavy products because the curl, if I curl my hair, will not stay. But I love this mascara. The other mascara, whoops, I got a little bit on my lid. The other one that I really love is the Colossal Volume Express. This is the Cat Eye Mascara. I really love this because of the bristle brush, how it's curved like that. So I think you guys have seen me use this before on my Instagram page. So as my mascara is drying, this is where I like to go in with either a brow gel or a tinted brow gel and this is the one I really love that's tinted. This is the Gimme Brow by Benefit. This is in the shade 4.5. And what I like to do is just kind of add that to my brows to make them look more feathered and full. By the way, I was looking at old videos of me and how thin my eyebrows had gotten. I was like, that's not gonna happen again. So it took about a year for my brows to grow back, by the way. You know, I was going through a lot of stress, you know, from moving to Oregon and then moving from Oregon to Nebraska. Now, let me tell you that there's nothing more stressful than to go through a move, especially when you don't know anybody. And thank God my brother is here in Nebraska, because that was game-changing for me. When we went to Oregon, I had no family other than John and his dad. But moving to Nebraska, I had my family, my brother, his wife, and 2 kids. So, but let me tell you, moving, it can be very, very hard on a family. And so I went through a time where there was a lot of depression for me. And so I naturally leaned on my partner to get help, really asking him to help me. But, you know, he's a human being going through his own stresses in life and challenges and difficulties, and even dealing with his own change. So I really needed to get the help on my own. And that's something I learned through this whole process, because now here we are today and we're going through a pandemic, and it's been a fucking hard year. But let me say this. Had I not gotten help for my mental help, you know, through therapy and through even medication, I wouldn't be here today where I can actually talk about it without crying. Because every time I spoke on this topic, it was really hurtful and it was hard. But now today, it's like I had to get myself out of this dark hole, climb out of the dark hole, and really find harmony in my life. And, you know, when you go and you move to a place that you don't know anybody, you don't even know where things are, you just don't know even, like, you haven't even gotten or established a routine for yourself, it is hard to find sanctuary. So I wanted to find that, and so I got the help that I needed. And so if you guys are, and I know this is kind of off topic and off subject with makeup and skincare, but your mental health is very important. I mean, it's as important as your physical health, but your mental health is like, you wake up in the morning with your thoughts and feelings. So I highly recommend that for anybody who is suffering out there with this, that you get the help you need. There is help. Thank God there is help. So I'm going to go ahead and add the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Setting Spray. I love this so much. Yes, it's not a luxe kind of packaging like some of these other products I have, but the formula ingredients are awesome for those of you who suffer from sensitive skin. I have very sensitive skin. I tell my clients, treat your skin that you have today versus yesterday, and typically you don't want to avoid potential irritants. I mean, you may not see the signs of sensitivity on your skin when using a product. You're like, oh yeah, you know, it has fragrance, but it doesn't seem to bother me. Maybe not today, but it could potentially over time. And you may not visibly see it, you know, immediately that you're damaging certain cells of the skin, but over time you could potentially trigger those sensitivities and irritation, and you will see it later on. So I just highly recommend that when you do purchase products, try to find some that are fragrance free, or it's that it's listed below, like at the very bottom, because that means that it doesn't have a large amount of fragrance in their product. This is the Revlon Skin Lights in the shade Daybreak Glimmer. I love this highlighter. It, to me, is very similar to the Amrezy highlighter by Anastasia Beverly Hills, you know, but a fraction of the price. But I still love my Amrezy. But I love this, and I've recommended it to many people, and it is just so cool how foiled and wet it almost appears to be. So I love that. And so if you guys are looking for a highlighter that isn't terribly expensive, then this one is your jam. You should really look into this one. I'm just gonna add it basically to the tops of my forehead. I'm not gonna go in the center just because I typically have textured skin and I don't want that to be more prominent. So I usually just add it to this area to give myself that three-dimensional look. And then I just kind of add it to the tops of the cheek area like a C. I don't really like to add too much highlight because now that I'm getting older, the last thing I want is to make myself look even older. So I'm just gonna take this brush right here and I'm gonna go ahead and add it to the center of the nose. And then I'm just gonna kind of, and then maybe add a little bit to the Cupid's bow, and I am finished with highlight. For those of you who have been following me for a long time, you guys know that I really love Pérsona Cosmetics. I love the fact that they're cruelty-free, made in the USA, but I also love the fact that there's a lot of colors for people like me who don't want it to look too dramatic. Or if you want to intensify it, you have the flexibility of intensifying your look. So this is the blush by them, and this is in the shade Georgia. I love this color. It may not be too related to my eye look, but I don't care because I love this blush. I feel like it goes with any eye look. But I'm gonna go ahead and use it. So the way I've been kind of putting my blush on is I start here, right in this area right here, because I want the most intense of the blush to be in this section and not bringing it too front, towards the front, because I don't really want that like dolly look. I want it to look more airbrushed. So I'm just kind of now picking up the product and I'm swirling it around and even adding it to the temples and blending it through. So isn't that beautiful? I love blush. I love this one. Well guys, here's the final look. Just kind of giving you my thoughts about the palette. I feel like it is one of those palettes that if you are looking for metallics and are looking for foiled kind of eyeshadows, that is a great palette to get. I know that I struggle with making things look very foiled and metallic sometimes with some of the formulas that I've experienced in my collection. And so these are really nice and buildable upon itself. So I really love that. $48 is a lot of money. I'm not gonna lie about that, you know, because you're not getting, sorry, let me grab it. You're not getting like a ton of eyeshadows. I know you're like, oh, well, you know, why should I buy this when I can get a lot of similar colors like in a Morphe palette? Well, you're buying the quality as well as the name and the packaging. So keep that in mind, you know, packaging in itself is expensive and they want to retain the potency of the products quality. So that really helps being in a container like this. Now, being that this is my first impressions on this palette, you know, there's still a lot of colors in here that I did not even get to dive in. The colors that I did dive in was this one on the top, this bronzy color, this one here, as you can tell, there's a little smudge there, and these two right here. And out of all those, they performed really great. The nice thing about this gold yellow right here, oh my God, I love this. I added just a little bit more to that little spotlight area, and it is such a wow. I mean, that's the cool thing about it. You can build upon it and make it better. So I really like that about this particular guy. I'm glad that I got it. Now, speaking about this brush, I love this brush so much. I mean, I've got a lot of brushes, so I have a lot of experience working with a lot of different brushes, you know, quality wise, drugstore to even prestige. So this one's $22, but you get 2 different sides. This one isn't like super like dense like the MAC one that I have here. I'll just kind of show you just for, because this is one of my favorites, the 242 brush by MAC. Okay, so obviously this one's completely different in its size and bristle, but they're both synthetic. I love that. And I love that, like, you can pack on color, spray this brush, and really start applying it to metallicize that particular eyeshadow. So that I felt was worth my money. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial. There are a lot of tutorials out there for Mario's whole collection. I just picked up what I felt I was going to use the most, as well as, you know, keeping the budget down. So that's what I'm all about. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.